What is up, guys? So Enfield finally got some new update, and the next character is just as what I expected, Mifu and Camille. So after the little live stream drop from IGN, I was very excited because I thought Mifu was just going to drop tomorrow, the next day. But turns out I just got finesse. Even though Zhangfangyi banner ended, we still need to wait for the version to come, which is not tomorrow. They're going to be coming in June 4th or June 3rd. Still like a whole 2 weeks away. Still a very long time. So I just woke up being Mifu-less. But anyways, we've seen what Mifu can do. There's a lot of leaks. Some of them are true, some of them are not. But today's video, I want to talk about which character is going to pair well with Mifu if you're rolling for her. For me, I haven't decided if I want to roll for her yet, since I already have kind of the budget version of Mifu built. So if you don't know, Mifu, her basic attack, I don't have her character right now, but her basic attack does basic attack things. Her battle skill is like a combo thing. And then her combo skill and battle skill both wants vulnerability, which is like applying physical. And her ultimate just lifts and then does damage. So Mifu, her role is almost the same as Enmin. She's a guard. The role of guard is very misleading here. They're not actually guarding anything. Their guard just means apply physical and deal physical damage. So Mifu, she's basically like a physical DPS. They say she can be like a sub DPS or a main DPS. But for now, I think everyone wants to play her as a main DPS. So if we look at the guard, if there's any way to just look at guards, any way to just filter out the guards. Oh yeah, we don't have any way to filter out the guards. But you can see from their logo over here, guards includes, the logo is like a little stick. There's physical Enmin, Li Feng, Chun. Oh, Estella is also a guard. I thought the Pan would be a guard, but it turns out he's like caster or striker. So Mifu, under assumption that you're going to be playing her as a physical DPS, here are the teammates that I would suggest investing in right now to optimize your Mifu when she comes out. So there's going to be a ranking. Her number one teammate, most optimal teammate, is going to be Chun. You are going to use Chun probably regardless of any type of team you play. She's going to be in 99% of a Mifu team anyway. So Chun, her kit is stupidly simple. I don't even need to explain it. Look at how long her kit explanation is. All you need to know is her physical her basic attack. He does that. Let the AI will do its thing. Her skill applies physical and also lift for some crowd control, which also apply vulnerability, which is what Mifu wants. Mifu wants at least 3 to trigger her combo skill, and also 3 to complete her battle skill full combo with her third battle skill. So play Mifu equals get 3 vulnerability from your teammates. Her combo skill is almost the same. It gives them a vulnerability, this time without even using any SP. And the way you trigger this combo, which is almost every time, every second, is to just apply some vulnerability. So you got 2 vulnerability with a price of 1 SP from Chun. That's 2 out of 3 of Mifu's game plan. Now, Chun also has an ultimate, and it feels like Chun's ultimate should be able to apply vulnerability, but apparently not. It only just does damage. I would say Chun's ultimate is very useful in interrupting enemies' charging ability without needing to use SP, but all you need to focus on is getting skill and combo skill. And the rest of these are okay, I guess. And I think one underrated thing about Enfield is that when you're not using the character, when it's controlled by an AI, they do quite a lot of damage by themselves. They do a lot of basic attack by themselves. They kind of just stay out of the enemy's way most of the time. So I actually highly recommend just maxing out Chun's stats just for some passive damage done by the AI. In 2026, we gotta trust AI even more now. So you don't need to get their best weapon, honestly. I'm just using whatever that's in here. Use an Aspirin. You can even use Enmin. You probably can't use Enmin weapon, but you can't consume vulnerability at all. For Chun's gear, get whatever this is, Swordmancer. It can be whatever. Just anything that could give her more physical damage would be good. Chun's own damage is not that important. I'm just saying you can build damage just to let the AI do some more passive damage. They do quite a lot. And with Chun, you're most likely going to get some potential. So next patch, other than Mifu, it's also going to be a Chun's patch. Because they even have a quest that has Chun as the main character. So you already know Chun is going to be a very favorite character. The end game is probably going to be very tailored to Chun. So Chun the number one character you gotta build. You can't really roll for Chun potential, but if you get it, it's all pretty standard. So if you get it, that's good. I'm also going to be maxing her out soon. Even though I might not get Mifu, I think she's also just really good for like a Enmin team too. If you have an Enmin physical free-to-play team, you probably already have like a Mifu team already. So Chun, number one priority. In case you don't want to max her out, you can just farm her until just level her talents up, her 2 talents, her levels until like 80. Don't have to max her out. Don't have to really level all these. Just, I would say prioritize battle skill and then ultimate and then combo skill and basic attack if you want to. But I'm guessing a lot of y'all are not like completely maxing out. For gear, just if you don't want to gear artifice, you can just do these. Just get the set bonus for her to deal more damage to the staggered enemies. And that's pretty much it for Chun. She's basically like guaranteed going to be a Mifu teammate, so invest in her now and get big returns when Mifu comes out. So who is the next character that we want to talk about? The next, you already seen it from the showcase, but it's going to be Pogranichnik. And Pogranichnik conveniently is also on banner right now. It's also on the rerun banner. So you can pick him if you don't have him, but I'm guessing at this point in the game, everyone already has like quite a lot of standard characters. So Pogranichnik, his role is that he gives SPs a Vanguard. Now I do know that Camely is also coming out soon, so maybe Camely can work, but you know, Camely applies some heat, which, you know, this Mifu team is not going to be able to use it. So Pogranichnik right now is the best physical Vanguard. So how much should you invest in Pogranichnik? I would say you just need the battle skill, combo skill, and maybe some ult. Physical is okay. I tried to like make Pogranichnik a main DPS once, since he's like one of the first 6-star character I got. But you don't have to. It's good if you can get some more extra damage. So Pog's kit looks a bit like convoluted, but it's actually pretty simple. You basically don't really use his skill. He's mostly used for a combo skill. I mean, he's a Vanguard character that generates SP. You're not going to consume more SP to generate more SP, right? So it's mainly going to be revolving around his skill, and then you just use his ult whenever you have ult. His ult is kind of like he summons these like bodyguards, and then it does a bit of like grouping and crowd control. So think of his ultimate as more like a grouping tool. Very useful for AoE mobs. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. This character don't have a lot of damage. So how you trigger his combo skill, which will give you a ton of SP back, is by consuming vulnerability. The more you consume, the more reward you get. And you know, very conveniently, it's 3. And you know, very conveniently, Mifu is the one that's going to be applying Crush and then consuming the vulnerability with her battle skill. So Chun gives vulnerability, Mifu consumes vulnerability, and then Pogranichnik triggers combo skill after Mifu does battle skill. You should level this up, even though it's mostly leveling up the damage. I think it only like maybe levels up the SP towards the end. But try to focus on combo skill and ultimate. The interesting thing with his skill is that, yes, you can use his skill. His skill is a way to like trigger his combo skill. His skill applies breach, which like doesn't really consume vulnerability. It only like consumes vulnerability if they have maximum vulnerability. His skill is used to like trigger his combo skill, but if you already have a character that's going to consume the vulnerability, then you don't have to use Pogranichnik's skill. That's the theory behind it. So with a Mifu team, you basically never use Pogranichnik battle skill, and just use his combo skill and ultimate whenever you get it. So invest in all these. Talent is always good. Stats is okay. I guess you don't really need it. Usually with like a physical team, you want all the teammates do like small damage that accumulate together. They're like teamwork. Compared to like Zhuang Fangyi, that's like a hyper carry and all that. Physical team is more like everyone doing little bit of damage. So the damage distribution is very spread out. Now for his weapons, I think you should get his signature, which I still don't have. I think I rolled enough, but you should actually get it, since you know it has specific buffs after he gets the SP. But if you want some free-to-play option like what I'm using, I mean, it's not really free-to-play. It's just a random 5-star that you can get from here. Using whatever here you can get. Thermite Cutter, I think you can get this like for free if you have to. Other than that, his gear don't really need to invest anything. It's not... Pogranichnik's role is to generate SP, and then that's all his entire career is about. That is what we hired Pogranichnik to do, so don't really need to care about damage, but you know, if you have investment time, you can do it. For potential, I only have 1, And for those of you who already have like Pogranichnik P0 and maybe you're looking into getting another Pogranichnik from the rerun selector, his P1 is okay but very situational. You get more SP when your battle skill hit at least 2, and you know, because it's battle skill, you're almost going to never use it. It's basically not that useful, so I don't recommend. P0 is all you need. You don't need that much. P2 P2 is just stats. Okay, I doubt anyone has this much Pogranichnik since he's like a 6-star. So that's about it. So Pogranichnik, get weapon, get gear, get combo skill, and ultimate. Now the third character, the third teammate for Mifu, and the best sustain for her is going to be Amber. Now this is surprising because Amber was considered like one of the worst 6-star standard, but now her time to shine is finally here. Now I already used her for like physical admin. She's basically the sustain character for a physical team. Why? Because not only does he heal and shield, but she actually applies vulnerability. She actually applies knockdown, which, you know, also applies vulnerability. And it's actually for free. You don't have to use her skill at all. It's from her combo skill. This is her important. This is her whole career is her combo skill. See, basically, when you are attacked, when you like receive an attack, Amber will suddenly pop out in your QT, and then you press her combo skill, and then you immediately just heal a bunch. The downside is that the cooldown is mega long at 19 seconds. Not at max level, but like at almost max level. And they do some knockdown. They apply some vulnerability, which is amazing because she basically applies a vulnerability without using any skill points at all. It's basically like free. But you know, the downside is that it's 19 seconds cooldown. But it's like one free vulnerability when you get attacked. So sometimes you might actually intentionally want to get hit just to apply this. But you know how aggressive the goddamn endgame is. You already know it's about to happen. Now Amber has another thing going for her. She has an ultimate, which is the shield. And this shield is okay. She deals some heat damage and unfortunately does not apply any like vulnerability. It's very good for like interrupting the enemy, but that's about it. The shield also doesn't really like give you any, I don't think it gives you any interruption. It's just kind of there to help you a bit. So, how to invest in Amber. Combo skill is number 1 for healing. More healing equals more room for mistakes. Ultimate, I guess you can level this up. If you're like dying, then yeah, really level this up. More shielding equals more confidence in your ability. And then her talents, I'll level this one up for sustain to get more sustain. Amber does have some like protection against interruption, but it's really only for Amber herself. So I guess you can get it. And then this one you can kind of ignore it. But I just leveled it up just to let the AI do a bit more passive damage. And the rest you don't really care. Weapon, I barely don't have a weapon for her. Does Amber have a signature weapon? Oh, she does. Her signature weapon just gives you more HP and shield, which I'm guessing you probably don't need it. The end game in this game isn't really doing that much damage to you. It's more of like a interruption hell than damage and having like a survivability problem. Gear, just use whatever that gives you more treatment. I find it very funny that this character heals. This character definitely just does not look like a healer. I don't know how she's even healing. I think she gives you, it's kind of like Overwatch. She gives you like a med pack. Potential, you can't roll for this character, so I wouldn't mind any potential. Probably should level this character up because she's going to be the tank. And I would say sustain is quite important for a Mifu team because Mifu is like a physical character. So is most of your teammates. So when you're playing Mifu, you're going to be very up close with the enemy. So having one sustain character is going to be good. It's not like Zhang Fangyi where she's like very range and then you can run sustainless. So Amber is going to be the third and probably one of the core pieces of Mifu. I mean, you can try running without Amber, but like for like other sustain option. Ardelia, probably no. She gives you susceptibility, but does not give you any vulnerability at all. And you have to use a skill point for Ardelia. You can try using her, but I would not recommend it. Rather just use a under-level Amber would be even better. Other sustain option, Saihi. She helps cryo and art damage, so Saihi is never seeing Mifu. Snowshine is okay. I have not used Snowshine in a while, but she's okay in certain enemies. What's interesting is that Snowshine skill and Amber skill kind of do the same thing. They both like be and protect the control operator. But if you don't have Amber for some reason, like you haven't rolled that much yet, Snowshine could work. Ardelia. If you don't have Amber, you could use whatever sustain. And we don't have any more sustain, but we do have one more, Gilberta. She's one of the most popular and most useful character. So does Gilberta really work with Mifu? I think it could work if you really try. If your Gilberta is like hyper invested. She has crowd control, she has art sus, she has slow, she has all that. She just doesn't have any like physical related thing. She has a lift, but you need to trigger it from a combo skill with a very long cooldown. Her skill doesn't do much other than crowd control. You can try using Gilberta first if you don't have your Amber built yet. Yeah, honestly, I think you can actually just use Gilberta. It's just that you won't be using this. You should probably not use the skill too much in like just physical, and just use like Chun physical or Pogranichnik, and then mainly use Gilberta's ult, which will help with every single person ever. Okay, never mind. I think Gilberta is actually quite good. I forgot to read like the last sentence. She applies a lot of art susceptibility. She applies even more arch sus when there's like even more vulnerability stacks. And her ultimate does not like consume the stacks, right? It just half the stacks. I never used Gilberta with physical, so I don't know if her ultimate like consumes it, because you want Mifu to consume the vulnerability. So maybe you have to use this ultimate before Mifu consumes it. It might be cracked like 3% more, 3% per stack. Let's say you have 3 or 4, like 4 stacks, right? That's like extra 12%. I feel like Gilberta would be really good for like Mifu for like a massive screenshot damage. So Gilberta, definitely one character that works. I mean, what team does Gilberta not work with, honestly? So Gilberta, good investment. And Gilberta just works with a lot of teams in general, so she's an even better investment. So now you're thinking that we already covered a lot of the physical characters or whatever Mifu teammates. There's not much else. But I'm going to talk about some potential free-to-play ones, like this one, Estella. She's a guard, apparently. So what does Estella even do? I built her, but like everyone has Estella, but it's just sometimes really hard to find a use for her, because sometimes you just have better teammates. You only play Estella if you really don't have certain character. But if you can see Estella, I don't have her leveled. I feel like it could work since Estella is kind of like meant to be worked with Enmin. So Estella, she's kind of like a cryo and physical character. Her skill applies cryo. Her combo skill applies some physical, and also actually gives physical susceptibility, and also ultimate also do something with her physical susceptibility. So Estella is actually not that bad. Estella could probably work. It's just that her game plan, I'm not too sure about it yet. If you're running Estella, she's probably going to be the only cryo character, so it might be a bit difficult, but I think we could try. If you're running Estella, you can also run her best teammate. Usually you run with her best teammate, Ailash. They kind of complement each other. Ailash combo skill really only works after like Estella combo skill, and he generates more SP. But since Ailash is a SP generator, if you have Pogranichnik, you probably is not going to use Ailash. So whether or not you're going to use like Ailash is going to depend on whether or not you have like Pogranichnik. For Chun, everyone definitely has Chun. So if you don't have Pogranichnik, maybe you can like try Estella and Ailash. And now we go over to some characters that probably does not work very well. I mean, it could work. I want to start with Li Feng. Now, Li Feng is a physical like sub DPS. His main use is that his combo skill gives you Link, which gives you a lot of damage buff. His battle skill also, you always start with the battle skill. He applies vulnerability. His ultimate, a lot of words here, also just deal a lot of physical damage. And also have some crowd control, because he does some crowd grouping as well. So Li Feng theoretically could work. It's just that you just have like much easier teammates with like Chun and Pog. So it's really hard to find a space to put Li Feng in it. But if you're running sustainless, like you're not using Amber, Li Feng could be really good for like a speed run. So Li Feng, if you really like want to go all in on damage, you can use Li Feng. You should invest in him. It's just very hard to find a space for him to fit in. Next, I want to mention Enmin. Now, Enmin is probably, ironically, not going to work with Mifu that much, because Mifu is basically just premium Enmin. He's a guard. They deal crush damage. They consume the vulnerability, and they are like the on-field damage. So Enmin, if you probably don't need to invest in him. If you're planning to get Mifu, if you already have Mifu, then you basically don't need Enmin at all. Enmin can go live in the bench if you have Mifu, honestly. But if you're like me and you want some like free-to-play challenge, you could use Enmin. Enmin and Mifu are probably never going to be on the same team since they are both fighting for the vulnerability stacks. But the upside is that if you already have like an Enmin team, then you basically already have a Mifu team. I don't know if their gear is like the same. Mifu probably uses a new gear, but in the early game you can just use like Enmin gear if you already have them built. That's like okay, I guess. And then I think that's about it for the characters that has some synergy and some characters that Mifu kind of just power creeps. Let's go over all the characters. Levitain, fire DPS, definitely does not work with Mifu. They say Mifu can be a sub DPS, but like you're going to need some physical. You definitely need physical application if you want to play Mifu. That means like playing like Chun and all that. And you know, when you play Levitain, you're probably not going to play any physical supports or physical applicator. Wolf Guard, he applies heat infliction, which does not really work with anything physical, honestly, unless you're running some insane Rosy Wolf Guard Mifu team, physical team. I don't think you need her. Now, Ake Curry is a character that just works with everyone. She's going to be like power crept by like Camille soon. But if you have Pogranichnik, no reason to run Ake Curry. Plus, there's also like Estella and Aylash if you want another source of SP. So maybe get Ake Curry. I mean, Ake Curry is a pretty good character overall. Very low investment and you get like SP and all that. But most likely you're not going to be running Mifu and Ake Curry. Ardelia, everyone has her. You're better off running Amber. Zhang Fangyi, Lightning DPS, not going to be touching anything physical. Tang Tang has some art sus debuff, but she needs cryo infliction to get started with her battle skill. She could work in some niche scenarios, maybe in contingency contract where you want to like freeze the enemy, but she has nothing going on with physical, so probably not gonna use her. Yvonne is ice DPS who don't like any physical. Enmin, Mifu power creeps her. Li Feng maybe. Li Feng does a lot of like support for physical, but you might just not have enough like teammate slot for him. Chun 100% Mifu teammate. Perlica, she has electrification, and then that's about it. Doesn't really. She's very good for Zhang Fangyi, but not doing too much for Mifu. It can work if you really just started the game and you don't have any other characters, and all you have is the starter characters with like Chun and Perlica. Yeah, use Perlica if you have her, if that's all you got. Pogranichnik, her number 2 biggest core teammate, her best SP generator, best vanguard. Definitely invest in him if you want to play Mifu. Last right is the last thing you want on a Mifu team. She just wants the cryo infliction. Gilberta can actually work, especially in teams where you don't want too much sustain. Maybe Amber doesn't do enough. The art sus can really stack up quite nicely. I mean, if you have Gilberta, you're probably going to build Gilberta anyway. She's in like every team. Avowena, lightning sub DPS doesn't work with any physical. Saihi is just cryo bot. Snowshine, if you don't have Amber, you can use Snowshine. Amber, her best sustain, gives like a free vulnerability stack every once in a while, and also good healing and shielding. Arknights wants electrification, wants electric stuff, not doing any physical stuff. Aylash, maybe if you run with Estella, but if you're not running Estella, definitely just don't use Aylash. Antil buffs heat and electric, so never going to use him ever again. Fluorite, I forgot what she does. Wait, I think she just applies like nature stuff, right? Fluorite is all about nature and cryo, so you're probably not going to be seeing Fluorite on Mifu team. Estella, maybe. If you don't have like Pogranichnik Amber, you might, and you're also like running sustainless, you try challenge yourself with some super free-to-play challenge with Estella. Protector, Catcher, no one plays this character, but he does have some unique properties like shield. I think he is a physical character, right? Okay, on second thought, Catcher might actually be kind of underrated. His skill applies physical, his ultimate applies physical, his combo skill gives you some shield. I think I might want to try Catcher with like physical Enmin. It's just that you might want to like spend skill points on skill, whereas with Amber, you don't need to spend skill point. Catcher might just be like a budget version of Amber if you don't have Amber. But since like nobody ever plays this character, it's might be hard to find any like resources on the best way to play and build him. But it actually could work. He's a physical character, and his ultimate applies physical. It's just that he probably won't have much personal damage, and his sustain might be a bit questionable in the late end game. So he is actually one decent option, and it might be the only excuse you have to play this character. And one more, actually, it's Depan. Now, Depan is also a physical character. As you can see, he's the only character that I don't have built, so I don't have much experience with him. But to my knowledge, he's a damage dealer, and you can just tell from his design, no one really plays this character. Let's look at his kit. Skill applies lift. Okay, so Depan, maybe you can try to play with Mifu like a double duo DPS, but I feel like Mifu just does whatever Depan does. So it might be like fighting for the same vulnerability. Does he consume it? Yeah, Depan consumes Crush with his combo skill. So he's kind of like physical Endman. They probably just do the same thing. And I'm guessing that no one is building Depan, even if I told you to. But if for some reason you want to play Depan, if you have Mifu, you're probably not going to need to play Depan. So you can leave Depan to the bench if you already have Mifu. Don't need to build him. I have not seen a single person genuinely play this character too. I might try though. And that's about it. The only character that I don't have is Rosie. Rosie's a heat DPS, definitely. She also has some like physical related thing to apply. But I think Rosie takes way too much like resources, like vulnerability stacks, and also her core teammates to have Mifu in her team. So there's that. So overall summarize, Chun, Pog, Amber, Gilberta are the big four that you want to invest in. Either Gilberta or Amber. Amber might be easier to navigate with better sustain, but Gilberta for those whale and tryhards. Secondary, maybe Li Feng, and maybe Catcher, and also Estella. Estella and Aylash is more for a very experimental thing. And then the rest is whatever. So all we have left is to just wait for Mifu to come out in like next 2 weeks, which is a long wait. And that's about it for now. Let me know in the comments what I missed, and I'll see y'all next time.